Visible. Hi students, am I audible, visible? Hello? Hi everyone, welcome to Unacademy NEET English. I'm your biology educator Ambika Sharma. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to you all. How are you guys? How are you? Do let me know in the chat section. Yeah, do let me know in the chat section. Am I perfectly audible and visible to you all? Namaste. Hello. Good evening, guys. Welcome to the class. And today we are going to discuss neural control and coordination. Right? Neural control and coordination. The last chapter of human physiology. Isn't it? The last chapter of human physiology. Guys, are you missing practicing the questions or not? Or you are okay? Okay, madam, just complete the syllabus, that's fine. Or are you missing it? Yeah, that ma'am, no ma'am, question practice session should also be there. What do you want? Tell me, what do you want? What do you want? Tell me guys, quickly. And first of all, hit the like button and share the session link with your friends and tell them the session has started and come and join everybody. Yeah, do it quickly. Do it quickly. Firstly, hit the like button. If you're new to our channel, subscribe the channel, share the session link with your friends, and then answer my question that do you miss practicing the questions or not? You need question practice. That's why I have something very amazing for you all, and that is I am planning to take a session, right? I am planning to take a session on Wednesday, and that is top 200 questions, right? By tomorrow it will be updated. Don't worry, hopefully by tomorrow you'll get the session there on the channel itself. So top 100 questions, and that is from human physiology and plant physiology. That is from human physiology and from plant physiology. So see, if we are practicing these 2 units, right, means total 9 chapters, and you know that these 9 chapters are the most important chapters. They are the most important chapters, and if you guys attend this session, I can tell you 80 plus marks are guaranteed. They are guaranteed. Okay, and here in this session, statement based question, match the column type of question, right bache, true, false, your all the kind of questions will be there in this particular session. What's it? So Wednesday at 5 p.m. we'll have this session. We will have this session. Okay, this is what we are going to do. And one more thing, because festive season is there, right bache? So guys, you guys can join our batch. You people can join our batch. In the description box there is a link for that particular batch. You have to click on that link and you can join our batch, and that too at 50% off. Let's say if your juniors, they are preparing for NEET 2026, right? They are preparing for even for the next 2 years, right? You guys can suggest them this, and in 50% off, right? This is what you people are going to get, 50% off, and you can get whatever you want on an Unacademy platform. Basically, you want the batch for remaining 3 or 4 months, right? For 1 year, for 2 years, everything will be provided to you. And not just the 50% off, it is 55% off on all the NEET UG subscriptions. So without delay, join it. You guys can join our Avengers batch, and soon I'm going to start the class 12th syllabus here also, right bache? And meanwhile, you can watch the recorded lectures of class 11th also, so you can complete your syllabus in it also. Okay, so you people can join the batch. Chale. Now let's start the chapter, that is neural control and coordination. What is the name of the chapter? Neural control and coordination, and it is the chapter number 18th as per your new NCERT, and this is what we have to follow. Okay, so you guys know it very well that now eye and ear is not the part of syllabus anymore. These two topics, they are deleted from your syllabus. Okay, so if you check the official syllabus, right, if you check the official syllabus on NTS website, so you'll get to know that yes, they talk about the central nervous system, the general introduction is there, brain is there, about the neurons, nerve impulse conduction, right, these things are there in this chapter, and they specify CNS, right bache, they specify CNS, that is central nervous system. So in central nervous system we have brain and the spinal cord, so that's what we are going to discuss in this particular chapter. Okay, that we have to and we should discuss it. So basically when we talk about the nervous system, right, we should know that basic things, that we have the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and further, right, further categories also, and moreover about the cranial nerves, about this spinal nerves, we should know. Right, we should know, and we are going to discuss it in this particular chapter. Okay, bache. Okay, so this is it is literally a very important chapter, and trust me, it's not difficult. Right now, eye and ear, even eye and ear, they are very interesting topics, but now they are not the part of your syllabus, and so that is why this chapter is not that lengthy. Okay, that is why even this chapter is not that lengthy. Are you getting my point? So here, from this particular chapter, your nerve impulse conduction topic is a very important topic, nerve impulse conduction, right? And then obviously brain, right, the parts of brain, it's important, and brain, it's a very interesting topic, but obviously you have a lot to remember. So yes, you can just focus on NCERT, that will be sufficient. Right, that will be sufficient. And I have seen students struggling in this particular chapter, that is nerve impulse conduction. I have seen them struggling in this particular topic. Okay, and trust me, I'll make it very easy for you all. Okay, I am going to make it very easy for you all. So let's talk about it, because you already know the chemical coordination and integration. We have completed it already. So let's talk about the neural control. So you know that when we are saying neural control, we are talking about the nervous system here. Right? We are talking about the nervous system here, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, bache. Isn't it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? Okay, chali. So very first thing that you need to know is, see, you know that when we talk about the evolution, yes, I'm going to relate it with the evolution as well. So when we talk about what? When we talk about the evolution, you know that when we talk about the life, right, so basically so many changes are there, chemogeny, biogeny, but let's say we talk about the single cell first, right? Firstly, we talk about the single cell. We know that during like evolution is a gradual process, it's a time taking process, and with time what happened, bache, with time what happened, the single cell, right, the single cell further developed, right, the body organization changed, right, we started observing the multicellular organisms also. And when we talk about the multicellularity, even when we talk about the multicellularity, we will see that here also there are different levels of complexity, right? Like whether it is just a multicellular body, or tissue level of organization is there, organ level of organization is there, organ system is there or not. You know that, right? You know that. So you can relate this portion a bit with the animal kingdom, isn't it? You guys can relate it with the animal kingdom. So you know that in the animal kingdom also, that's how we discuss, right? We talk about the cellular level of organization there, right? We talk about the cellular level of organization there, even the tissue level, even the organ level, even the organ system level. So when we are talking about a multicellular body, in that multicellular body also, bache, you are not going to see the same kind of organisms. You'll see the complexity, right? We talk about it in the animal kingdom chapter, isn't it? Isn't it? So when the organism is a multicellular body, when it is evolved in such a way, don't you think we should have a system that is required for the proper coordination? Don't you think so? We need a system. There should be a system that is helping in that proper coordination, and or that coordination is required. It is much needed, isn't it? Isn't it? It is much needed. That coordination is required. Are you getting my point? that coordination is required. It is much needed, right? So there should be a system that can basically, just say, let's say there are cells which are present in our body that can tell us about the conditions of the external environment, right? How to deal with that, what to do. Yeah, there should be a coordination in between the cells of our body, right? So we need that kind of system. Do you agree here? Do you agree here? So yes, bache, when there is the multicellularity, there should be a system. There should be a system that can help in control and coordination, isn't it? So that we can gather the information of the external environment, right, bache? So that we can transmit that information from the internal cells. Okay, right? The exchange of information, for all that things, there should be a system, right, Namita? There should be a system. Is that clear? Yes, is that clear? There should be a system. Okay, so now what is the next thing here? So this is the first thing. So now what is the next thing here? So for that we know that there is a nervous system. For that we know that there is a nervous system, and that nervous system is important, right? Why? Because we need something that can respond to the stimuli. If I relate this with the living word chapter, you know that in the case of living organisms, it is the defining property, right? That we respond to the stimulus. We respond to our external environment, right? It is the property, it is the quality, it is the defining property of a living organism. We know it very well. So obviously for responding to that stimuli and for the proper coordination, nervous system, right? There should be a system, and we humans, we are complex. So in our case, we have that nervous system. Right, we have that nervous system, and not just in the case of humans, bache, even in the lower organisms, we will also see that coordination is there. Is that clear? Is that clear? So body organs, they should work in a systematic manner. They should work in a coordinated manner, right? So that is why this coordination is important, and integration is also important, which make two or more organ to function together, like that two organs should work in harmony. That's why integration is also important. So let me discuss that with you all. So what is the meaning of coordination, guys? What is the meaning of coordination? So coordination is the process through which two or more organs interact, right? Coordination is a process through which two or more organs interact and complement the functions of one another. Right. So what is coordination? So coordination is the process through which two or more organs, right? Two or more organs, they interact and they complement the function of one another, right? They complement the function of one another. Very simple it is, right? Let's say, I still remember in junior classes, I think in Hindi there used to be a lesson regarding this, that one day our stomach was like, or our digestive system was like, like all other systems, they were like that our digestive system is doing nothing, right? It is not even working. Okay, and then they got to know that if digestive system, if it stops working, then a lot of complications will be there, right? All other body organs, the systems, they are getting the food, the digested food from, because that food has been digested in our digestive system, and that food will be provided to the other organs, and they are using it, they are assimilating it. So obviously things should be in a coordinated way when we have that system. Just for an example, you guys can take the example of a company, right? Of a multinational company, or even of a small company. So you know that, right? If there is a manager, the subordinates are there, so there should be an interaction. Things should be clear that this is what you have to do, that is what you have to do. So that things are important, isn't it? So coordination is something which is very important, by which two or more than two organs, they will interact. They are going to complement each other's function. Okay, students. So when we do physical exercise, the energy demand is increased, right? We are doing some exercise, energy demand is more, right, bache? And increased muscular activity is there. So obviously, let's say you are running, you are doing something else, more need for oxygen is there, na? So our body, so you don't have to tell your heart, your blood, I need more oxygen, please give it to me. Obviously things are in a coordinated way, right, bache? So increased supply of oxygen necessitates an increase in the rate of respiration. So our rate of breathing will increase, our heartbeat will increase, blood flow will increase. Simple, right? So when we stop the physical exercise, activities of nerves, lungs, heart, they will return to their original condition or the normal condition, right? So that is how we can see the kind of coordination that we have. So in our body, this neural system, and not just neural system, please keep it in your mind. Not just neural system, please keep it in your mind. Endocrine system also jointly coordinate and integrate. Jointly coordinate and integrate all the activities of the organs so that they function in a synchronized way, synchronized manner. Is that clear? Yes, stay, Stella. So if it is clear to you, I want to see some energy. I want some energy in the chat section basically. Yes, I want some energy in the chat section, guys. ठीक है, I used to take your class on Friday and Wednesday, but it's fine, yeah. मतलब, I know on Saturday and on Sundays you don't get marathons, but it's fine now. We have to complete our syllabus. We have to complete our syllabus. Okay? Done? Right? So neural system, it is the neural system that provides an organized network, a proper organized network of point-to-point interactions or connections for a quick coordination, right? For a quick coordination. And when it comes to the endocrine system, you know about the hormones. What kind of messengers are they? Intercellular or intracellular? What kind of messengers are they? Intercellular or intracellular? Yes, bache. Shubhan, Namita, do let me know in the chat section. What kind of messengers are they? Intercellular or intracellular? Quick. What kind of messengers are they? Intercellular or intracellular? Right? Guys, be quick. Be quick. I can see that still students are not able to answer it correctly, and I specified it, right, while discussing that chemical coordination and integration, that you are not allowed to make mistake there, right? That you are not allowed to make mistake there. It is something very important. Do not miss it. Still students, still. Right, guys, it is intercellular messengers, not the intercellular, in between two cells. Okay, so endocrine system provides the chemical integration through hormones. In this chapter, we'll talk about the neural coordination. So we'll start with the neural system first. So you tell me, what do you know about the neural system? Yes, you tell me that what do you know about the neural system? Yes. Tell me quickly, what do you know about the neural system? Yes? Yes? Please tell me, what do we have? In the neural system, what do we have? Anybody in the class, you can also call it as nervous system. But in neural system, nervous system, it is one and the same thing. And our neural system is ectodermal in origin, means it is made up of which germ layer? It is made up of ectoderm. So what is it? It is ectodermal in origin. This is what you need to keep in your mind when you are talking about what? You're talking about the neural system. So in neural system, my dear students, in neural system, we are going to talk about the neurons, right? Neurons, also known as nerve cells, It is something very important. Why? Why? Because these neurons or nerve cells, they are the unit of neural system. They are that basic unit of this neural system, right? Like we say, na, structural and functional unit, this and that. So it is that basic unit of neural system, and these are the cells that shows the property of excitability as well as the, right? It shows the property of excitability and conductivity. Excitability and conductivity, right, bache? Are you getting my point? Right, so you are talking about, so what are we talking? We are talking about the neurons, the nerve cells, the basic unit here, and they are having the property of the excitability and conductivity. Excitability and conductivity. This is something very, very, very important. What are we going to see here, bache? We are going to see here the excitability, the property of excitability and the conductivity. So any doubt here? Yes? Please tell me, any doubt here? It's the easiest portion, guys. Yes, it is the easiest portion. Any doubt here? Right? So this is something very important. This is something very important. Now my next question is, what do you think that in the nervous system, are we only going to talk about the neurons? Are we only going to talk about the neurons? Or do we have anything else? So we are saying nervous system having the property of excitability and conductivity. Sorry, neuron. So I hope you know this diagram. It is one of my favorites, right? You know, na, even in the chapter excretory product and its elimination, I draw that nephron again and again. Right here, in this chapter, you'll see that I'll make it again and again. And what's that? This is our Mr. Neuron. Hai na? This is our Mr. Neuron. A wonderful structure, isn't it? A wonderful structure, isn't it? Yes. Yes, neuron, Mr. Neuron, nerve cell, Mr. Neuron, right? So excitability and conductivity means it will receive the stimulus. When it will get that stimulus, it will get excited. Means we'll talk about the ion movement. We'll talk about the change in the membrane potential. That's what we have to discuss. Like these nerve cells, these neurons can generate that nerve impulse, right? They will respond to that stimulus. This is the special property of this membrane here, right? This is the special property of the membrane here, isn't it? Isn't it, bache? So what is going to happen? These nerve cells, they can generate an electric impulse whenever they will get the stimulus, right? And what is going to happen actually? The membrane potential difference will change. And the nerve impulse which will be generated here, it is having the property to conduct that. And if you can relate it with the NCERT, I told you initially that nervous system, in the nervous system, there is a perfect point to point, right? In the nervous system, there is a proper point to point, right? Point to point coordination is there, right? Things are arranged in such way. So neurons, they cannot just excite, they can even conduct that nerve impulse, right? They can excite, but not just excitation is there, but they'll also conduct that nerve impulse. They'll pass it to the next neuron. Okay, they'll pass it to the next neuron. So that is how it works. Are you getting my point? That is how it works, right? So do we have the neurons here only? Do we have the neurons here only? What do you think? Yes, people, what do you think? Do we have the neurons here only? Of course not. We will also talk about the neuroglial cells, right? Not just the neurons. We are also going to talk about the neuroglial cells. Are you getting my point? Neuroglial cells. Even other than that, you will also discuss some appendymal cells here, right? And the neurosecretory cells also. So it is not just the neural glial cells, but the appendymal cells also, or the neurosecretory cells also, right, bache? And the neurosecretory cells also. Is that clear? Is that clear? And here in the neuroglial cells, we'll discuss about the astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, glial cells. That's what we have to discuss. Is that clear? So in the nervous system, neurons are there, that basic unit, plus neuroglial cells are there, appendymal cells are there, neurosecretory cells are also there. Neurosecretory cells are also there. Is that clear? Neurosecretory cells are also there. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear? Done? Right? So when we talk about these neuroglial cells, remember one thing regarding these neuroglial cells, that they make up more than half the volume of neural tissue. More than half. So obviously, if they are making more than half, then what is their function? They are actually, these neuroglial cells are helping in packaging and supporting the nervous system. How are they helping, my dear students? They are helping in packaging and supporting that neurons or the nervous system. That is how it works, right? That is how this works. So nerve impulse will be generated by neurons. They are going to conduct it, but the neural glial cells, they are going to support that nervous system. They are going to help in the packaging, right, bache? So that is how it is required, okay? So you people can see here, a very important example is also given, that neural system of all animal is composed of highly specialized cells that are neurons. Remember, neurons, also known as nerve cells. Bache, I am using the word nerve cells here, not nerves. There is a difference in nerve cell and nerves. I am using the word nerve cell here, right? Nerve cell here. So it can detect, receive and transmit different kind of stimuli. Okay, bache? Okay. So when you talk about the animal kingdom, we talk about the phylum Cnidaria. We talk about the phylum Cnidaria, also known as Coelenterata. Also known as Coelenterata. So you remember the example of Hydra. Do you remember the example of Hydra? Hydra, a fresh water polyp. Yes, what is it? It's a fresh water polyp. Right, bache? Fresh water polyp. The structure is somewhere like this. It's a rough structure that I'm making, right? Hydra. So in the case of Hydra, which is a lower, right, which is a lower organism, which is a lower invertebrate, right? It is a lower invertebrate. It is also having a very simple type of nervous system. It is just having what? Network of neuron is present in it. The diffused network of neurons, right? A diffused network of neuron, a very important thing. And again, that is also previous year question. Okay, bache? So what do we have here, right? What do we have here? In Hydra, we will see that there is a kind of primitive network of nerve cells. Sometimes we call it as a diffused network of nerve cells. Is that clear? The diffused network of nerve cells, right? So it is better organized in insects, right? Where a brain is also there along with number of ganglia. So I will discuss that with you all, that what is the meaning of ganglia, what is the meaning of tracts, what is the meaning of nerves, nerve fibers. We'll discuss everything, right? And that is obvious because vertebrates, right, having vertebral column, we are advanced organisms, right, bache? We have a well-developed neural system. We have a well-developed neural system. Is that clear? What do we have? We have a well-developed neural system. Okay? Okay. Sure? Sure? Chaliye. So now I will write something here. You please focus. Okay. So then let's discuss it further. So what do we have? We have the neural system or the nervous system, one and the same thing. Here you have central nervous system, peripheral nervous system is there, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system is there. Okay, central CNS, peripheral PNS. Okay. Periphery, you're talking about the boundary here. Say for an example, right? Just imagine a human body. This part is brain. This part is spinal cord. This part is brain. This part is spinal cord, right? You know that it is the basically they are making the CNS. Okay, this brain and spinal cord, actually it is making CNS. It is making central nervous system, right? Where the information will be processed and all, right, bache? So obviously they need to tell it to the other organs also. So here, when we are talking about the peripheral nervous system, we are going to talk about the nerve fibers here, right? We are going to talk about the nerves, the nerve fibers here, right? Just we discuss about the cranial nerves that originates from brain, spinal nerves, right, that originates from this spinal cord. We talk about this. We talk about this. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So that things are going to make what? They are going to make the peripheral nervous system. Alright, peripheral nervous system. Okay, okay. So it is not like that the brain will go to the kidney and will tell, hey kidney, that's how you have to do. Obviously they have the nerve fibers there, right? So that's why we are saying a proper coordination is there. Right, a proper coordination is there. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So when you are talking about this CNS, central nervous system, so you know that we have the brain here and the spinal cord here. What do we have here? We have the brain here and we have the spinal cord here. So it helps in integrating. It is basically a kind of integrative and control center. It will integrate that information and obviously it's going to control that. It's a control center. It is the control center. Are you getting my point? What's that? It is the control center. Then when we talk about the peripheral nervous system, right, bache? Right. When we talk about the peripheral nervous system, so what are you going to discuss here? Right. So here obviously cranial nerves and spinal nerves are making it. Right. Cranial nerves or spinal nerves are going to make it. And bache, this is what we need to know, right? That here, yes, we are going to talk about the efferent nerve fibers and efferent nerve fibers. What we need to discuss here? Efferent nerve fibers, and we need to talk about the efferent nerve fibers, efferent and efferent nerve fibers. Now what is this efferent and efferent nerve fibers? Here we have a trick, that is ASME, A-S-M-E, ASME, A-S-M-E, efferent nerve fibers. These are the sensory fibers, right? ASME, A-S, sensory fibers, okay. Then me, motor neurons, right? Motor nerve fibers, they are making the efferent nerve fibers. Right, ASME, efferent sensory, efferent motor. Efferent sensory, efferent motor. Now, what is the meaning here? See, bache, see, just say, let's say, there is a stimulus, right? The nerve fibers that will carry that stimulus to the brain, right? The nerve fibers that are going to carry that stimulus to the brain or to the spinal cord, right? They are carrying it, they are sensory. They are going to sense that, okay, it is something, it is happening, chalo, now I have to, this is just like siblings. Let's say if you are having a younger sister, right? So she'll be like, Ole, my bhaiya is going to do that. Okay. She'll go to the parent, she'll tell it to Papa, you know what? Bhaiya is doing this, bhaiya is doing that. So she has sensed it. Okay, my brother is planning to go out. My brother is skipping the studies, right? My brother is planning some night out or something, so she'll go to Papa, you know what, my brother is planning this, and then mother and father is going to decide, okay, let's say Papa is brain, mother is spinal, okay, so this is what we need to do. So sister, she's running now, and she's like, Papa, so sensory, she's going to sense that, so sensory nerve fibers, they carry, right, they carry that thing to the brain. Are you getting my point? What these sensory nerve fibers are going to do, the efferent division, they will conduct that impulse, right? They will conduct that impulse. They conduct that impulse to CNS. Are you getting my point? To central nervous system. Okay? They conduct that impulse to central nervous system, and from where? From receptors, right? From receptors. And what about the sensory one? The sensory one will be like, matlab, this is the final decision. So now your central nervous system will be like, okay, that's what we have to do. That's how we have to react, right, bache? That's what we have to do. That's how we have to react. So what's going to happen? So it is, right, the motor nerve fibers, yeah, motor division, it is going to conduct impulse from, it is going to conduct that impulse from CNS to receptor. Okay, from CNS to receptor. So that's what I can write here, isn't it? So it will conduct impulse from receptor to CNS. And this one from CNS to receptor. Clear? From CNS to receptor. Is that clear? Yes. From CNS to receptor. Is that clear? Is that clear? Sure. Sure. So in the peripheral nervous system, you will talk about the efferent and the efferent nerve fibers that will work. And basically, how do we divide this peripheral nervous system? We are going to talk about the autonomic nervous system here. And somatic nervous system here, autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. So in autonomic nervous system you are having sympathetic nerve fibers and this one is parasympathetic, right? Parasympathetic. So actually when you are talking about the autonomic, so here you are talking about the involuntary things, right? What are we discussing? We are talking about the involuntary part, means the things which we cannot control with our own will, right? The things which we cannot control with our own will, right? What are we talking about? We are talking about the autonomic nervous system. So involuntary it is, right bache? Involuntary it is. Are you getting my point? Involuntary it is. And somatic nervous system, S for somatic nervous system, bache, that is my way to remember, right? That is my way to remember. You can do this. So somatic, S for somatic, S for skeletal system. That's what you guys can remember. S for somatic, S for skeletal system. So you know that when we talk about the skeletal system, it is what? It is voluntary, right? We can control it with our own will. So autonomic nervous system is involuntary and your somatic nervous system is basically voluntary. It will conduct the impulse from CNS to the skeletal system, and this one is going to conduct that. Autonomic one is going to conduct that to the cardiac muscle as well as the smooth muscle. Is that clear? Cardiac muscle as well as the smooth muscle. Is that clear? Yes. If it's clear, do let me know in the chat section. Do let me know in the chat section. And please be quick. Please be quick. Yes, students, be quick. So somatic is for voluntary activities, autonomic is for involuntary activities. So there will be the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, right? There will be the sympathetic nervous system and this one is parasympathetic nervous system. Is that clear? Parasympathetic nervous system. So that's what you need to keep in your mind. That's how we divide it. So the same thing is given in the NCERT here. So here you people can see the central nervous system and peripheral is there. CNS will have brain and spinal cord. So it is a very easy question, but yeah, they ask it in the NEET examination, right? And when you talk about the nerve fiber, don't worry, I'll tell you the difference in a neuron, nerves and nerve fibers. Don't worry. One by one we will discuss it. Okay, bache? Okay, bache? So afferent fibers are there, efferent fibers are there. So do not forget about us, me. Right, do not forget about us, me, right? So A for afferent, S for sensory, M for motor, E for efferent. Okay, so it is us, me. Okay, it is us, me. Okay. Okay, so afferent will transmit impulse from tissue, or you can say receptor, from tissue, or you can say from receptor to the central nervous system, and efferent fibers will transfer this from central nervous system to the concerned tissue or organ. Is that clear? To the concerned tissue and organ. Is that clear? Is that clear? So again here also somatic neural system and the autonomic neural system is there. What do we have here? We have the somatic neural system and we have the autonomic neural system here. So autonomic is further into sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay. Okay. Now the next thing. Okay. The next thing. So somatic, as I said, skeletal system. Now what about the visceral nervous system? What is that visceral? Viscera, body organs. You are talking about the body organs. Are they going to work with your will? Right? Tell me. When you are talking about the visceral nervous system, visceral, you're talking about the viscera. So it is that part of the peripheral nervous system, bache, that will contain nerves, that will contain fibers, nerve fibers, the ganglia and the plexus, by which the impulse will travel from central nervous system to viscera and from viscera to the central nervous system. You're talking about your body organs. Just you can even talk about the nervous system which is there in our alimentary canal, right? There is a network of nerve fibers there, no? There is a, just say, I'll give you the example here. I don't know whether you remember it or not, but when we, now though digestion and absorption is deleted from your syllabus, but if you remember, right, when we talk about the alimentary canal, right, or the gut, when we study its histology, we talk about certain layers. And for that, the trick is SMSM, right? Just say we have SMS now. So in front of SMS, put one more M. So this S is for serosa. This M is for muscularis. Muscles are there. This S is for submucosa. And this M is for mucosa. These are the layers that we discuss. Let's say this is your alimentary canal. We are taking a cross section of that. We know that inside there is the lumen, that empty space. Then mucosa, submucosa, muscularis and serosa. So serosa one is the outermost. But the point is, but what are you discussing here, ma'am? But I am talking about the network of nerve fibers which is present there. Just we talk about the plexus here. In these two layers, we discuss about the plexus. So when you are talking, using the word plexus, matlab you are talking about the network of nerve cells. You're talking about the network of nerve cells. I don't know whether you remember it or not. Just we talk about the Meissner's plexus or myoenteric plexus, right? That is a network of nerve fiber which is there in our alimentary canal also, right? Which will help in the stimulation of the secretion also, and that is also guiding that smooth muscles, that this is the time you have to, right? This is the time you have to contract or relax, and that is important for the peristalsis, if you remember. That is important for the peristalsis, if you people remember. Okay, so right, so when you are talking about the visceral nervous system, you are talking about your viscera, your body organs, and here you are saying it will have the nerves, the fibers, the ganglia, the plexus. Okay, right, bache? Right. So firstly, let's discuss about the components of the nervous tissue. Let's start with the neurons and then we will discuss it further. So if there is any doubt, do let me know. Yes, if there is any doubt, do let me know. Let's talk about the neurons first and then let's go ahead. Okay, then let's go ahead. Yes, doubt? So is it your favorite diagram as well or not? Something like this. I hope you all know about it, right? So basically when you are talking about the neuron, this portion here is what, right? This is the obviously nucleus now. It is a nucleus here. Okay, it is a nucleus here. So other than that, this portion is what? This part is the cell body, also known as cytin, also known as soma, also known as perikaryon. So from this cell body, many processes are arising. So if you notice this, these branches like things, what are they? They are the dendrites. What are they? They are the dendrites. And the cylindrical structure is what? It is known as axon. It is known as axon. Now, bache, these are the axon terminals. Right? Matlab ends of axon, or you can also call it as axon arborizations. Right? Axon endings, axon terminals, axon arborization. It's all same. Right? It's all same. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So nucleus is there, obviously cytoplasm will be there, we'll call it as neuroplasm, that these dendrites, the cylindrical structure is the axon, right bache? And now if you will see this is the covering, this is a kind of covering. We use the word myelin sheath for it. I'll explain it, I'll elaborate it in detail, please pay attention, right? But if you will see, just imagine it is something like that. I'm telling you now, Bache, Ria is asking me, ma'am, visceral is classified under autonomic or somatic. You tell me, your digestive system is going to listen to you or not? Your digestive system is going to listen to you or not? Yes, Ria. Yes. Not fair according to you. It should be in autonomic nervous system thing or in skeletal one. Autonomic, obviously. Imagine, this is the axon. Just imagine, this is the axon. You'll see some coverings there. As I said, I'll explain it one by one. Right, at this place there is a covering. Now the next one is at this place. I'm definitely going to see this. Something like that. This black colored pen is what? It is your axon. Okay? It is your axon. Just say these white colored coverings. What are they? Myelin sheath. So myelin sheath is present here and myelin sheath is present here. Myelin sheath. In between these two, right? These two coverings or these two sheaths, can you see that it is not, it is empty. It is empty, right, bache? Matlab it is not covered. Matlab it is that part of axon which is not covered with this sheath. So we call it as node of Renwier, right? N-O-R. Node of Renwier, N-O-R. So this is, what is it? It is the cell body, cyton, soma, perikaryon. The branches here, dendrites. The cylinder here, axon. These are the coverings of myelin sheath. I'll explain it, right? And here in between, just see, this is the part of axon which is not covered with the myelin sheath. It is node of Renwier. And these are the axon endings, axon arborization, axon terminals. This is it. Okay? And here, let's say if this is a, okay, so I'll elaborate it here. It's like that, this is your cell body, right? This is your cell body. The structure is what? It is your cell body. It's like that from the cell body now, many processes are coming out, right? Like many branches are coming out, many processes are coming out. Let's say these processes here, these many processes here, what are we calling it? We are calling it as dendrite. What are we calling it? We are calling it as dendrites, right? And now from this part, this cylindrical structure, what are we calling this? What are we calling it? We are calling it as axon. Are you getting my point? So axon is also arising from the cell body. These dendrites are also arising from the cell body. So this part here, this kind of conical part here, this part here, we call it as axon hillock, right? Axon hillock, and it is the most sensory part of the neuron. Why? Because here you are going to see many ion channels. Right? In the starting itself, I told you that neurons, they have the special property of excitability and conductivity. They'll get excited when they receive the stimulus, right? They'll generate an impulse when that stimulus is above threshold. So how is it possible? The ion movement will be there. The ion channels are present here. So we have to discuss it one by one. So here, this conical kind of portion, this part here is basically the axon hillock, which is the most sensory part of the neuron. Is that clear? Which is the most sensory part of the neuron. Is that clear? Is that clear? So firstly, tell me the structure here clear, the basics here clear, then I'll explain you the things in detail. Yes, then I'll explain you the things in detail. So if this part is clear, do let me know. Yes? Done? Okay? Okay, so let's discuss it one by one. Okay, so bache, we also use the word nerve fiber. Firstly, I'll explain this terminology, then we'll go. Right, we use this word na nerve fiber. We use this word na nerve fiber. Yes, what is the meaning of a nerve fiber? What is this nerve fiber? What is this nerve fiber? Anybody in the class? What is this nerve fiber? Anybody in the class? See, when this axon or dendron, when they are covered with many, yes, when the axon or the dendron of a nerve cell, covered with what? The axon or dendron of a nerve cell, when they are covered with one or two sheaths, when they are covered with one or two sheaths, then we are calling it as nerve fiber. Then we are calling it as nerve fiber. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So when what is happening? When axon or dendron of a nerve cell, when they are covered with one or two sheaths, it is termed as nerve fiber. Any doubt here? Any doubt here? Any doubt here? Tell me. Nerve fiber is the word that I have used. Nerve fiber is the word that I have used. Yes? Yes? Now, nerve fibers are of two types. One is myelinated, another is non-myelinated. One is myelinated और another is non-myelinated, या फिर medullary और non-medullary, medullary or non-medullary. Are you getting my point? Myelinated or non-myelinated, right? So it is on the basis of what? Right. So these nerve fibers, they are of two types: myelinated, also known as medullated, and non-myelinated, also known as non-medullated. Right. So it is on the basis of structure. It is on the basis of structure. Now, what is the meaning of that? Let's say, for an example, let's say this is your axon, this is your axon. If your axon is covered with the myelin sheath, right? If your axon, if it is covered with the myelin sheath, obviously you are going to call it myelinated, right? Myelinated or medullated. What are we going to call it? Myelinated or medullated. If it is not covered by this, so this, then you will call it non-myelinated and non-medullary axon, your non-medullary nerve fibers. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? This is important. This is important. When you are talking about the axon, it's not mandatory that always it is covered with the myelin sheath. It can be, it cannot be. Right, it can be, it cannot be. So if it is covered with the myelin sheath, then it is the myelinated nerve fiber or the myelinated, myelinated nerve fiber. Otherwise, it is the non-myelinated nerve fiber, right? Non-myelinated nerve fiber. Now the question here is, what is myelin? See, don't worry. We are talking about the neuron structure, right? Right now, I'm telling you about the difference in the neuron or the nerve cell or the nerve fiber. I told you when these axon, dendrons, when they are covered with many sheaths, right? Many coverings are over it, right? Then it is forming a nerve fiber. Then many nerve fibers together will form nerves. We have to discuss that. Now, I'm specifically talking about this particular portion. Then individually, I'll also say, just say right now I told you from cell body, these dendrites and this axon is arising. I'll tell you what is there in the dendrites, what is there in the axon, what is present, what is absent. We have to discuss that. Plus, one more thing. Now I'm highlighting this part. I'm talking about this myelin. I'm talking about this myelin, right? Right. So don't worry. We'll discuss about them individually also, but let's cover this myelin thing. So myelin is the word here. One axon, your nerve fiber is myelinated, one is not. So the first thing is the myelin here. So what is this myelin? Yes, bache. What is this myelin? This is the first question. What is this myelin? Right. So, bache, this myelin is a fatty material, right? This myelin is a fatty material, or you can say that when you're talking about the myelin, it contains lipids, matlab fats, even the proteins, even the water. Lipid, proteins and water. That's what we see here in the case of myelin. Right, what do we have in the myelin? We have the lipids, we have the proteins, we have the water. Right, bache? Right, bache? So it is just like an insulating layer. It is just like an insulating layer. Right, bache? Yes or no? It serves as this myelin, it serves as an insulating layer. Actually, bache, when a neuron is conducting the nerve impulse, because this myelin, it shows that resistance, electrical resistance. So when this nerve impulse and when this neuron, it conducts the nerve impulse now, so because of the presence of this myelin sheath, it will not be able to, right, it will not be able to go here and there. Are you getting my point? So when you are talking about the myelin, it is acting like an insulating layer. It will prevent that loss of energy, right, of the nerve impulse during its passage along the fiber, right? So it serves as an insulating layer. It serves as an insulating layer. And what is it doing? Please let me know in the chat section, guys. What is it doing? Please let me know in the chat section. Yes, what is it doing? Yes. Tell me. So it is preventing that loss of energy during nerve impulse conduction, right? So when we are conducting the nerve impulse along this, right, along this nerve fiber, it will prevent that loss of energy, right, bache? So it is preventing loss of energy of nerve impulse, right, during the conduction of nerve impulse. Okay, and how are we conducting it? Along the fiber. Okay, along the fiber. Is that clear? Is that clear? So in simple words, can I say that it is having high electrical resistance and acting like an electrical insulator? Yes. In simple words, can I say that it is having high electrical resistance and acts like an insulator? Can I say so? Can I say so? Tell me, can I say so? About the myelin, I'm asking. It is having the electrical resistance and acting like an electrical insulator. Right? Right? Okay. Chaliye, very good. Now one more thing. Just again I'm going to draw this diagram. In this chapter, I think this is what I'm going to do. Okay. So now about the myelin, I told you. Now, bache, there is one more thing. Just let's say if here you have the myelin. If this is your myelin. If this is your myelin. This is the thing actually. Let's say if this is your myelin. Right, bache? So this myelin is covered by a thin cell membrane. Do you know that? This myelin sheath is also covered by a thin cell membrane. Right? Or even if, let's say if it is not present, there is one more layer that we are going to discuss. Just say you have the myelin, or you have the medulla. It is covered by a thin cell membrane. It is covered by a thin cell membrane. And what is the name for that? It is Neurilemma. Right? What is the term that we use for this covering? Neurilemma. And Neurilemma is also present at nodes of Renvere. Matlab it is also covering that part of it is also present at that part where the myelin sheath is absent. So it is like that. It is the Neurilemma. What is it, bache? It is the Neurilemma. So sometimes this Neurilemma is also known as sheath of Schwann cells. I'll tell you what are these Schwann cells. Like when we draw this diagram now of neuron, we write it here. These are the Schwann cells here. I'll tell you, I'll explain it. Have patience. So right now just note down. So what is the word that I have used? I have used the word Neurilemma. What is the word that I have used? I have used the word Neurilemma. Any doubt here? Any doubt here? So Neurilemma is a covering of Schwann cells. It is having what? It is having the Schwann cells. Right, bache? Right? Okay. Okay. So bache, these Schwann cells in peripheral nervous system, in PNS, right? These Schwann cells, their deposition, matlab these Schwann cells help in the myelin synthesis. They form this myelin. They wrap this axon, right? They form that myelin, the concentric rings of myelin around the axon. So in PNS, that is peripheral nervous system, Schwann cells, in peripheral nervous system, the Schwann cells, right, bache, they help in myelogenesis. So what is the meaning of genesis? Means synthesis. So myelogenesis means synthesis of myelin, ya myelin formation. Okay, right, bache? So around axon in concentric layers, this myelin sheath will form, and it is in peripheral nervous system, it is with the help of your Schwann cells. Okay, bache? Okay, bache. So Schwann cells take part in the deposition of myelin sheath or myelinogenesis. Right? Right. Yes. Sure. Okay. So I'll write one thing here. That in CNS, Schwann cells, this is a PYQ, or Neurilemma is absent in CNS. Myelogenesis is done by oligodendrocytes. What are these oligodendrocytes? They are the example of your neuroglial cells. Okay? They are the example of your neuroglial cells. Is that clear? They are the example of your neuroglial cells. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes. Is that clear? Sure? Are you sure? I'll mention one more thing here. So if myelin sheath is there, modulated nerve fiber. If it is not there, non-modulated. Okay? Okay? Done? Done, bache? Any doubt? So I hope this part is clear, that what is the meaning of modulated nerve fiber and non-modulated nerve fiber. Right, so now you know what is a neuron, you know what is the meaning of nerve fiber, and I even told you about the modulated nerve fiber and the non-modulated nerve fiber. I hope it is clear. So when it is the modulated nerve fiber, bache, they are generally present in the, right, they are generally present in the white matter. This in brain we will talk about white matter and grey matter. So in white matter of your brain and spinal cord, please write it. It is present in the white matter of your brain and spinal cord, and in spinal and the crane, and in the cranial and spinal nerves. Right, so where are you going to see these myelinated nerve fibers or modulated nerve fibers? You'll see it in the central nervous system, in the brain and spinal cord, right, bache? In brain and spinal cord, right, and in the cranial and spinal nerves. Okay, okay, and this is non-modulated one. They are commonly found in your PNS. Yeah, you can say that your autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. Even should be clear, right? And somatic nervous system. Is that clear? Is that clear? No, bache, Neurilemma, when I'm using the word Neurilemma, I'm talking about the sheath of Schwann cells. Right? That's why I said that it is absent in CNS, because there we are not going to see the Schwann cells. Okay? Okay? Right? And as I said, I will explain it. Just allow me some time. Just allow me some time. So now you know what is the meaning of nerve fiber, what is the meaning of modulated and non-modulated nerve fiber. So when we are using the word nerves, right? This terminology is important. When we use the word nerves, just say in this chapter we'll use the word nerves, nerve fiber or nerve cell. So when we are saying nerves, they are the bundle of nerve fibers in peripheral nervous system. It is the bundle of nerve fibers. मतलब many nerve fibers together, bundle of nerve fibers in peripheral nervous system. So in peripheral nervous system, जैसे I told you, efferent nerve fiber, right? So that nerve fiber word, when we are using the word nerve fiber, so they are bundles, right? So when I'm using the word nerves, so they are the bundle of nerve fibers. They are the bundle of nerve fibers. Is that clear? What are they? They are the bundle of nerve fibers. Is that clear? Is that clear? So nerve is the term. मतलब it is the collection of nerve fiber, and that is the term that we use in the case of PNS. Okay? Okay. So the collection of bundle of nerve fiber in CNS, in central nervous system. For that we use the word tract. So there is a difference in these two, and I believe you should know that. So when I'm saying nerves, I am talking about the peripheral nervous system. It is the bundle, or you can say that collection of nerve fiber. And when I'm using the word tract, again I'm talking about the collection of nerve fiber, but that is in the case of your brain and spinal cord. That is your CNS. Is that clear? That is your CNS. Is that clear? Sure? Are you sure? Yes, bache, are you sure? Pakka? Should I lock it? Okay, so when there is a collection of cell body, that is cyton, matlab so many cell bodies, collection of cyton or cell body. When so many cell bodies, they are together, then there are again two words that we use. One word is ganglia. Just a collection of what? There is the collection of, yes bache, there is the collection of cyton, there is a collection of cell body. So one word is ganglia that we use, right bache? That one word is ganglia that we use, and the another word is what? Another word is nuclei, right? So it is the collection of cell body. So this nuclei term we use in CNS. Matlab in central nervous system, when you are saying that there is a collection of cell body, we are using the word ganglia and nuclei, and term ganglia is used outside CNS. Or you can say that in PNS. So in PNS, in peripheral nervous system, when you are saying there is the collection of cell body, a group of cell body, a group of cytons, right bache, then you are calling it as, yes, ganglia, right? So outside the CNS, the term used for PNS is ganglia, right bache, and term used for CNS is nuclei. Done? Nuclei. Is that clear? Is that clear? Are you sure? Are you sure? Pakka? Okay, so now I'll tell you about the neuroglial cells. And then I will discuss the structure of cell. Matlab you should know these terms here. When I'm saying oligodendrocytes, neuroglial, this glial, that glial, you should know these terms. Okay? You should literally know these terms. Okay? Okay, so neuroglial cells. Should I go for neuroglial? Chalo, I'll discuss it later. I'll first cover the neuron structure. Otherwise, even I'll forget. Okay, so this part clear. The difference in nerve fiber, this tract, ganglia, and nuclei clear. We will use these terms in NCERT. Trust me, we are going to use these terms in NCERT. Okay, done. So, let's discuss about it. So, tell me, what do you know about a neuron? We have to discuss its types as well, but you tell me, what do you know about a neuron? Other than this axon, other than this terminal endings things. What do you know about it? Yes, please. What do you know about it? Yes. Do you have something to say here? Do you have something? Yes, bache, do you have something here? Dekho. It is the structural and functional unit of nervous system, am I right? It is the structural and functional unit of nervous system, right? And it is having, right, how many parts are there? How many parts are there? How many parts are there? Here you are going to talk about 3 major parts, right? 3 major parts, and mainly if I'll say, you will talk about the cell body here, or the processes, right? What are you going to discuss here? You are going to discuss here what? You're talking about a neuron. You are going to talk about 2 things. That is cell body, which is also known as cyton, which is also known as perikaryon, and which is also known as soma. And then we talk about the processes here. So when you are talking about the processes, here, right, processes of cell body, we also use the word neurites for it. Actually, what are we talking here? We are talking about the dendrites, again a plural word, and we are talking about the axon. We are talking about the dendrites and axon here. So process of neuron is neurites, right? So here you are talking about the dendrons, which is and dendrites, axon or axial skeleton. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes. Right? Okay, so what do you have in the cell body? What do you have in the cell body? It is uninucleated, right? It is having the cytoplasm, of course. And for that cytoplasm, we can also use the word neuroplasm. For that cytoplasm, we can also use the neuroplasm. Okay, and then that mitochondria, right? Obviously, it's a eukaryotic cell. So endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, that Golgi body, right, etc. They are all present. Yes, bache, Golgi body, nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, your lysosome, and even ribosome, which is very important for the protein synthesis. They all are present. Yes or no? Some fat globules are also there. So other than that, in the cell body, we are going to talk about the Nissls granule, right? We are going to talk about the Nissls granule. So Nissls granules are present here. Where? In the cell body. So this is important. Please pay attention. Right, you know about other organelles. So I am saying in the cell body, there is the presence of Nissls granules. There is the presence of Nissls granules. So what is the meaning of this word? What do you understand by these Nissls granules? Yes, bache. What do you understand by these Nissls granules? What are they? Yes, what are they? What are they? Definitely, they are, if you know it very good, otherwise it is very important. Masses or aggregates of ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in protein synthesis. Right? Because you know that ribosome is also the protein factory, right? So they help in protein synthesis. So Nissls granules are present. And even in the cell body, we'll see some neurofibrils. These neurofibrils are nothing. These are the intermediate filament, the cell cytoskeletal component of this neuron, right? Cytoskeletal component of this neuron. Is that clear? Neurofibril, that cytoskeletal component here. And moreover, bache, in the cell body, we will see that centriole is absent, right? Centriole is absent. Yes or no? Centriole is absent here. Now, what is this centriole? Remember, a non-membrane bound organelle, right? It's a non-membrane bound organelle. What's that? It is a non-membrane bound organelle. If you remember the cell cycle chapter, right? If you remember the cell cycle chapter, right? So there we talk about this na, centrioles. जैसे two centrioles perpendicular to each other. Two centrioles perpendicular to each other, when they are covered with the pericentriolar material, if you remember, right, they'll form the structure known as centrosome. And you know that we'll see that during cell division these centrosomes will form, then spindle fibers. So basically that is helping in that it will form that mitotic apparatus, spindle apparatus, that is helping in division. So now when we talk about the cell cycle, right, when we discuss about the cells that do not divide, that are in their G0 phase, that are in their quiescent stage, that are in their cell arrest stage, we talk about the heart cells. We also talk about the neurons. Right, it is believed that during the development of an individual, initially, right, then the neurons will form, and later on they do not, right, they do not divide. Okay, so a few years back I read one article, right, it was talking about the neurons, that yes, even they divide, but the division is not so fast, it takes many years or something like that. But right now I cannot, explain that research article directly. I have to see this, because sometimes some research papers are there, they publish, people question, and many things are there in that case. Okay, so all I want to say is ki, but yeah, I read it somewhere ki basically neurons may some you cannot say that the repair is also not there, that kind of things are there, but they do not divide. They do not divide. That's what we discuss. So let's restrict this part to the NCERT only, and accordingly let's proceed. So as per that also, that these neurons, these nerve cells, they do not divide, right? They do not divide. They are in their G0 phase. They are in their cell arrest stage, right? They are in their G0 phase. They are in their cell arrest stage, if you people remember. Okay, if you people remember. Okay, so in their case, that's why I have specified that centriole is absent. That's why obviously the division is also not there, right? That's why they are not going to divide. Are you getting my point? That's why they are not going to divide. Are you getting my point? Okay, okay. Done? Yes? Yes? Okay, so neurofibrils are also there. So one more thing, which is not clearly written in NCERT, but it is important. So Nissls granule, it is also PYQ, you should know that. So let me tell you, it is present in, again I'm writing it here, please note down, it is present in your cyton and dendrites. Right, but they didn't specify, but it is absent in axon or exoplasm. Okay, it is absent in axon. That's what you have to remember. It is absent in axon. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Right? So what is the word? The word is neuron, neurofibrils. Right, then Nissls granule. This Nissls granule word is important. Okay, this Nissls granule word is important. Okay, Pakka? Sure? Yes. So let's talk about the dendrites. So these, now we will talk about these dendrites. There are many short fibers or processes arise from cell body. Right, bache, they arise from cell body. So see, these dendrites, na, they are also having the receptors here. Bache, they are going to receive the stimuli. Please, firstly, please understand that, right? These dendrites, they are having the receptors here. They are going to receive the stimuli. And when they receive that stimuli, they'll pass it towards the cell body. Can I say that? They are passing it towards the cell body, right? They are carrying it here, conducting it towards the cell body, So, matlab something is moving from periphery towards center, from periphery to center. So can I say that when we are talking about the dendrites, can I say that they are showing the centripetal conduction? Can I use this word for dendrites? That they are showing the centripetal conduction. Can I use this word here? Can I use this word here? So what are they? They are short processes which are arising from the cell body, and yes, even they contain the nasal granule. Even they contain nasal granule. Very important thing. Even they contain nasal granules. Okay, nasal granules. And remember, they'll conduct nerve impulse towards cell body. A very important thing. They'll conduct it towards cell body. A very important thing. Okay. Okay. They receive the stimuli and carry it towards the cell body. Okay. Done, bache? Okay. So now this axon, it's a cylindrical structure, and its distal end, matlab this end, distal end is branched, right? It is branched. Am I right? Basically, we are talking about the axon. What is this axon? It is the cylindrical structure. Its distal end is what? It is branched, right? It is branched. So this branch is also terminating into bulb-like structures. है ना? That bulb-like swollen structures, bulb-like structures, and that bulb-like structures are axon terminals या axon arborizations or axon endings they are, right? What is the word that we are using for it, Shripriya? We are calling it as the axon terminal, axon ending, or axon arborization. Is that clear? Is that clear? And you know that we can also call it synaptic node. Right, we can also call it synaptic node. Okay, so this contains neurotransmitters, right? We'll discuss about them also. It contains neurotransmitters. What do they contain? They contain neurotransmitters. Right, bache? So these are the chemicals, of course. So axon will carry the impulse. Dekho, now this axon, dendrites are carrying it towards the cell body. Now from this cell body, let's say this is your axon. Axon will carry the impulse like this. So can I say that this axon carry the impulse? It carries the impulse away from the cell body. That's very important. It carries the impulse away from the cell body, right? Away from the cell body. So centrifugal conduction is there. Done? Okay, so it is a PYQ. It's a previous year question. Fine, it is a previous year question. We should know this, right? We should know this. Right. So cytoplasm, which contains in the axon, we can also call it as exoplasm. And I told you that here this sensitive part is there. We are using the word axon hillock. So yes, you can call it the most sensitive part, right? What can you call it? You can call it the most sensitive part. You can call it what? Most sensitive part. Okay, axon hillock. Okay, so in the case of axon, okay, I'm writing it here so that you don't miss it. So axon contain neurofibrils, cytoskeletal element of course, and mitochondria. Right? So remember, nasal granules are absent here. And this thing contain neurofibrils and mitochondria only. I'm using the term only here, right? I'm using the term only here. This is important. So it contain nasal granules, right? It contain, sorry, not nasal granule, neurofibrils and mitochondria only, right? It contain neurofibrils and mitochondria only. So if I'm using the term only, you know that how important it is to remember this part. Okay, done bache? Done? Done? Chaliye. So now because you already know about the locomotion and movement chapter also, so I'm expecting that you know this. This is one neuron. Let me draw this. Let's say this is your one neuron. This is your next neuron. So here you have the nerve endings, this terminal arborizations, or we can say that synaptic knobs are there. So I am saying bache that here you are going to get some neurotransmitters. Matlab here these endings na, they contain synaptic vesicles, right? They contain some vesicles, synaptic vesicles, and that synaptic vesicles actually contain your neurotransmitters. These are the chemicals. They will pass the information to the next neuron, right? Neurotransmitters are present there. Okay, so there are two things. Just say here, this is one neuron, this is next neuron, right? This is first neuron, this is second next neuron. So if we, like, I can take it like this. Just say, let's say this is the ending of one neuron, and here this is the dendrite of next, right? Dendrite of next neuron, and this one is the synaptic knob. Let's say this one is the synaptic knob here. So I'm saying that here you are going to see the chemical messengers. Here I'm going to see, you are going to see the chemical messengers. What you people are going to see here? You people are going to see here the chemical messengers. ठीक है जी? And that chemical messengers are having what? They are having the neurotransmitters. They are having the neurotransmitters. Okay. Now here, when you look at this, this is a neuron, this is the next neuron. This neuron will pass the impulse to the next neuron. So this is pre, and the gap in between. Can you see the gap in between? This gap in between? But this gap in between is the synaptic cleft. Right? For this gap, which word do we use? We use the word synaptic cleft. Which word do we use for this gap? Synaptic cleft. So before this, so this neuron, this membrane here, or this neuron here is presynaptic, before synaptic, but presynaptic neuron, yeah, presynaptic neuron membrane, and this one will be post-synaptic. This one is post-synaptic neuron, yeah, neuron membrane. So here I'm making it again. So let's say this is the ending of one neuron, and this part is the, and this is the dendrite of next. So here they are having a space in between. So this space is the synaptic cleft, right? This space is the synaptic cleft here. This is your presynaptic neuron, your presynaptic neuron membrane. Okay, and this one is the post-synaptic, after synapse, post-synaptic neuron membrane. So this is known as, these three things are making synapse. Even in class 10th, you discuss about it. So this is known as synapse. What is it? It is known as synapse. Is that clear? Is that clear? Right? So presynaptic membrane, postsynaptic membrane, synaptic cleft, that is the gap in between, right? That is the gap in between. So they are together making what? Synapse. Okay. Sure. Are you sure? Right. So even, and that is not the only thing. You know that these neurons, they also pass that information, yeah, to that muscle cell also, no? That muscle fiber also, yeah, muscle cell also. So you know that this junction is, just here you have the neuron, this is the muscle fiber. So if you remember, this is the motor end plate. right? The junction in between the neuron and in between this muscle fiber. This is the motor end plate, a neuromuscular junction, right? Neuromuscular junction. So do not forget about this. Fine, it's clear. Is it clear? Yes, is it clear? Sure? Are you sure? Chaliye, now let's discuss about the different types of neurons. So this is the diagram which is given in NCERT. So here they are mentioning Schwann cells. About Schwann cells, I'll discuss a very important point. That in non-myelinated nerve fibers also Schwann cell is there. But when we are using the word Schwann cell, you're talking about the neuron of PNS. Right? You're talking about the neuron of PNS. Do not forget this. So here we have the diagram. You guys can see this. Cell body, cyton or soma. These are that short fibers, right? This is that axon hillock thing, right? This is your axon, and here you can see the myelin sheath, and these are the terminal buttons, terminal branches. So this is the dendrite of next neuron. So the diagram is clear. So the diagram is clear. Now we will talk about different types of neurons. Jaise first is unipolar. Uni means a single. Uni means a single, right? So it is on the basis of number of axon and dendrites. Matlab, we are going to talk about the types of neurons. What are we going to discuss now? We are going to talk about the types of neurons, right? Bache, the types of neurons. So when we are saying the types of neurons, right? When we are discussing about the types of neurons, my dear students, right? The different types of neurons when we are discussing. So it will be on the basis of number of dendrites and this axon. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes. So when it is unipolar, so uni means a single, na? Uni means a single, means from cell body there will be only one process. Okay. So these unipolar neurons, they have a single process arising from cell body. Right. When there is a single process, right? Single process arising from cell body. Are you getting my point? When there is a single process which is arising from cell body, then it is the unipolar neuron, and we are going to see this in the case of early embryos of invertebrates and the vertebrates, right? So examples are important. So it will be there in the early embryos of invertebrates and vertebrates. Right, early embryos of invertebrates and vertebrates. Right, early embryos of invertebrates and vertebrates. Hanji, doubt? Yes, students. Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay. Bipolar. Bipolar means two processes are there. Right, only two processes are there. In the case of bipolar, what will you see? Only two processes are there. An axon at one end and a dendrite at another. Isn't it? One axon, one dendron. That's how you can write it, right? One axon, one dendron. So obviously from the diagram you might be thinking that both the sides are having axon, right? From the diagram you guys can think that both the sides are having axon, but actually it is not like that, right? So this is the most appropriate one. So here you can see, right? 1 second. Here it should be only dendron. So you can draw it like this, right? So consider this one. Consider this one. So this is a cell body. So from cell body, from cell body, from cell body, one dendron, dendrite is plural, and one axon will arise. So again, the example is important, and examples are interesting also. So example is there, retina of eye. So eye is deleted from our syllabus, but still we need to focus on this diagram. So retina of eye, and even in olfactory epithelium, right? Even in olfactory epithelium, we will discuss about it, right? We will discuss about it. So what is it? It is the bipolar neuron. What's that? It is the bipolar neuron. What's that? It is the bipolar neuron. So this is the cell body, one dendrite, and one axon will be there. So you remember when we talk about the eye, the innermost layer is retina, the sensory layer, the neurosensory layer, that is the word that we use, right? Neurosensory layer, it is the word that we use. So here we talk about the photoreceptor cells in the layers. We talk about the bipolar cells and the ganglion cells. Am I right here or am I making a mistake here? You tell me. What do we have here?